Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new episode of the Skylanders Giants Legendary Locke here on the channel. An episode which is quite contradictory towards how the previous episode left off, mind you, because in the previous episode Jetpack was not at level 15 and neither were we in a completed game state here at the Dread Yacht. So let it be known that I've had to go back and re-record the secondary episode here purely because my gameplay wound up getting corrupt. So here I am, back at home of all things, because I didn't wind up having the ability to re-record this whilst I was still at my University of Lincoln accommodation. So yes, all I can say is that as of recording this here video within the series, I have finished the Locke, but you know, you could make your own conclusions, your own assumptions. Here's one piece of advice I have for you. Don't make assumptions, because assumptions make an ass out of you. And with that being said, yes, this is the same profile as what we always use to tackle the Legendary Locke, and yes, this is a completed profile, which means that going back and having to re-record this episode is technically a blessing in disguise, because it means that when we load up, after I accidentally press the button to suck with Jetpack, that regardless, after we load up Cutthroat Carnival, what this means is that we no longer have to worry about the slow-paced terribleness found within the Skystone tutorials. So yes, that can all be thrown out. There's a window now, out it pops, those tutorials, mind you, that I hate them so much. But with that being said, you know, the assumption could be that if I'm playing on a complete profile, going back and re-recording these episodes, that I wound up beating the Locke, and I'm now playing the Locke after I beat it and completed the game file, from which we're currently utilising. And that assumption would be completely wrong, because I might have beaten the game, but does that mean that I beat the Locke? I could have just lost the Locke and then in my own spare time came back to complete this specific profile that we're playing on. You know, there's nothing to say so otherwise. What there is stuff to say so otherwise is the fact that Tech Element's popped up, so it's Bouncer's time to shine. So with that being said and done, I have spoiled Locks in the past, and this Locke is not going to be one of them. So I'm not going to tell you whether or not I wound up beating the Locke. You'll just have to wait and see for results once, of course, the final few episodes start airing in a matter of weeks, because normally this would be uploaded on a Friday, but unfortunately it wasn't quite ready this Friday, so instead you guys get this episode on a Saturday. But with the exception of this particular episode, every single episode of the Skylanders Giants Legendary Locke from now on is going to be uploaded on a Monday and a Friday. And yes, that's only going to be 7 episodes worth. I might have said 6 episodes previously. That's just because for some reason I could not math before now, which is odd considering, you know, how well I did at maths in GCSE, mind you. But with that, you know, maths is one thing that I absolutely went through with blaze and colours throughout GCSE. But what isn't a GCSE exam, and it sure is a damn shame, because if it was I would get, you know, 100%, is Skylanders, because I'm really skilled at Skylanders, so 9 would come easy to me. Anyway, we now have Stealth Off with the Life Elemental area and cutscenes disturbing my chompy walloping, but I have no problems with that whatsoever, because that meant that we got to involve the greatest NPC in gaming history, Blobbers. Not only is he the greatest, most charismatic NPC in all of history, but he's also like the most powerful. We are lucky in this game that all what we have to deal with is Chaos and the Concatron that he revives. If we had to go against Blobbers, and if he somehow got his hands on a Concatron, then all of Skylanders would be doomed, because there is no way we are defeating Blobbers. That is not happening. The character's just far too powerful as I lose, you know, control of my acrobatic type flip right there. That's what happens when you talk about Blobbers. The mere mention of his name is enough to drive Stealth Off crazy with fear. You see, she's messing up these flips again. She's just barely miscalculating from which direction she needs to front flip, because for game and name are things that just happen to rhyme. Make me a poet not even knowing it. But regardless, with that being said, the name of Blobbers is enough to send Stealth Off into, of course, a fear-inducing spiral. Either way, as you can tell, I have some pretty overpowered stones from having this file been all completed and everything. So there is the Concretron bot. It was a character that I was talking about previously, and it's a Skystone which has 4 blades everywhere. It is not losing to a measly spiderling now, is it? Well, let's be skipping that once more, pressing for wrong buttons, because Y is a skip button, not A. A is how you place down your Skystone, mind you. Yeah, this is what I get for playing this game on the Xbox 360, even though I do prefer the Xbox 360 over the PlayStation 3. I mean, I love the PlayStation consoles. Those are the line of consoles that I've grew up with my entire life. I love their exclusive titles. God of War is one of my favourite games of all time. Now, I've played that PS4 exclusive. I'm talking about the one that rebooted the series in 2018. And yes, it's on the PS4, it's exclusive to the PS4, and it's one of my favourite games of all time. Therefore, by accident, that somewhat makes the PS4, my favourite console of all time. Anyway, with that being said and done, there's stuff here, including a story scroll, which I'm not even going to bother collecting. You know, story scroll looks at me funny. I destroy stuff that looks at me funny, but it just so happens that story scrolls are invincible. More so than Skylanders, unfortunately. With the exception of Knight, of course, you don't get much more invincible nor more powerful than that, my friends. Anyways, with that all being said, this fool is going down. And, yes. The story scroll, despite looking at me funny, I cannot destroy it. I would if I could, but I'm just not, so we're therefore just going to avoid it. You know, give it a fate worse than destruction. Make it pay for its ignorance via my own ignorance towards it. You could even go as far as saying. Because there is a saying, fight fire with fire. Well, in this case, I'm fighting ignorance with ignorance. Because, hey, fire and ignorance, yeah, basically the same thing. Except from for one exception to where I can pronounce fire and ignorance I apparently struggle with. With that all being said, then it's time for Lycore Legendary Chill to really come into play right now. Like these guys, boy do I feel sorry for this absolute annihilation right now. No, I don't actually, that was a fucking lie. Okay, there goes these fools right here. Yeah, I do have one question. What has my commentary become? But can we really moan? I mean, the more crazier and chaotic my commentary gets, the better. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for my charm and charisma. And again, no matter what I do, I'm always me, so I can't exactly change that. You guys can change what kind of form of stylish content you're watching by not watching my style. If you don't like it, deal with it. No, I'm not going to change my style for no one, no matter what people ask for. Now I'm going to make videos that I want to make. It's simply put my passion for that. Anyway, let's bring out the narwhal! Or just apparently have it hit a rock. And even after all that, the rock still wasn't destroyed. That's just a true showcase of the power that rocks possess. I've been telling you guys this entire time, and you weren't listening to me. Just you wait. One day there is going to be a rock uprising, and we're not going to stand a chance because rocks are just too darn powerful. You guys not listening to me right now? When that rock apocalypse inevitably happens, you're going to be coming to me. You're going to be begging me for tutorials on how to beat these rocks, and I'm going to say no. This karma's too busy batting your ass for me to possibly have any hope in stopping it. So that, my friends, is why you should listen to me and the power that rocks possess. I'm not talking absolute gibberish. Rocks are so stupidly powerful, both in game and real life, of course. But in this game specifically, you know, not even a narwhal stood a chance against the might that is the power of the rock. Man, what were they thinking when they were coding that rock right there? Anyway, with it being said, then we now have more Skystones that we are defeating with ease, man. I also add, I almost feel sorry for these guys right here. Almost, but almost doesn't count now, does it? And we thrashed this guy just about the most any guy could be thrashed. 8 to 1. It's about to say 1 to 8 right now, but it's the complete opposite there. 8 to 1 ratio. Oh yeah, that's stronger than 80%. And hey, because we've already beat that game with Skystones, we got some gold that time. Not that, you know, Legendary Lycore Chill here needs it. It's Stealth who needs it. She's under upgraded, but you know, not life no more. The element of the area, and as for rules, quite explicitly state whenever an element pops up, I must swap out for a Skylander corresponding to that element and cannot swap out again until the element of the area changes once more. But boy, am I looking forward to particular elements that are popping up in this exact level, because it means we finally get the debut of the beast that is Igniter. It also means that we get to blow this up right here. Goodbye, your stupid chains that looked at me funny. Yeah, this level is very green. I know it's very bizarre for me to say these observations out loud in an iteration of say what you see. You know, I see a galleon right now, so I'm saying that I see it. But, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna speak out loud anyway. That's kind of like what speaking does. Speaking is what you think in your mind, and then you say it using your words that come out your mouth. And with all that being said and done, we now have puzzles. Not difficult puzzles, but puzzles all the same. Oh, if only I could skip this, but unfortunately being able to skip this is too much to ask for. What do you mean I'm not playing with a full deck? I literally have a Concatron. I think that Concatron is deck enough if you were to ask me. Being an unbeatable stone and everything. I think this guy's just jealous that I have the rare and elusive Concatron stone, and he don't. It's this whole entire, like, people being jealous over my Robo situation all over again, where everyone who doesn't have a Robo is jealous of my Robo. In fact, people who have a Robo are still jealous of my Robo, because if they had that Robo, rather than me, they'd have a double Robo, and then they could sell it and buy a house. Yeah, Robo's just that expensive that you could basically sell him and, you know, afford a mortgage. Anyway, I was about to reach over there towards the portal to swap out for Igniter already because the file has popped up and I could not be more hyped. But unfortunately, we now have, you know, Skystone's battles to be dealing with, so I'm still reaching over here. I'm still eagerly anticipating the switch out of the century because Igniter is going to be such a legend. Wait for it. Dairy switch out. But unfortunately, Skystones are still kind of in my way right now. Not much I can do about it besides, you know, play this guy right here, get some overkill rolling. Yeah, for third game of Skystones, you're playing the entire game and you just have absolute overkill throughout the entirety of it. And I do not feel sorry for these guys. Not in the slightest, do I? Boom, there goes that fool right there, leaving himself open like that. He had it coming. Yeah, he had it coming, he did. So yep, here comes for Concatron 2 while we're at it. As I, you know, braced for a burp, but apparently a burp never came. And now that guy's going to place that, so I'm going to place this guy for the Riveter. That guy's going to spell some trouble for us later, but you'll just have to wait and see what I mean when said moments arise that I'm alluding to. Oh, apparently you press for Y in the middle of that and it can fire off a cannon. I killed the bandit, and now I get to kill everything else with Igniter. Let's frickin' go. Boy, this is my most anticipated moment in the history of most anticipated moments. You know, I thought I was excited for Black Widow, which as of recording of this here episode has actually come out, that movie. And with that all being said, it's a good movie. It's not amongst the MCU's best, you know, it's about 16, 14-ish in terms of if I were to rank them all of the MCU films, that is. You know, if it winds up being the best MCU film of 2021, then that's going to be a massive disappointment. Anyway, I should probably stop getting hit so much now. But yeah, point is, playing Igniter for the first time in the Skylanders Giants Legendary Like Locke, I was anticipating that even more than I was Black Widow. And I was really anticipating Black Widow, so that just goes to show how much I was anticipating playing as Igniter in this lock for the first time. Even though technically it isn't, because I'm going back and re-recording this after I've already recorded the rest of the series. But in terms of the context of the series, yes, this is the first time I get to play as the glorious Legendary Igniter on screen, mind you. Must be defeating some fools from back here. They had it coming. I'm not sorry. Not at all. Anyway, where are the executioners? I'm too good for them, I'm telling you. Too good to get hit by them specifically. And you see that this blue flame right here, it's totally beast. Not that I even needed it because the Fire Spirit did enough damage as is, thank you very much. So yeah, let's be pushing the locks into place. Luckily for me, in that combat scenario, I did not pull off a Tweenie. I'm going to show you what pulling off a Tweenie looks like because, to be frank, it's hilarious more than anything.
We're getting ready, we're getting ready. Getting ready. Get out of the way! No! 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 What? What? Wait, what? Are you kidding me right now? Ah! What just happened?
Anyway, that will be said and done. We now have these fools to take out our Fire Spirit. And what do you know, our Sam can hit him from down here also. That's just for awesome legendariness of Igniter right here, that's what that is. Now we could visit our shop, but we've been there, done that already. At least in terms of when I originally recorded this, and all of the footage of course corrupted, mind you, I did that originally. Anyway, we now have more fools to take down. Strike! You know what, you guys can hit me, you're not gonna beat me though, I'm too overpowered for that. Just look at this, a boom baby! Holy so. Haha! Oh mate. 300 health might not seem like a lot, but believe me, in the hands of Igniter, all you need is one single health, because at one single health you're still alive, which means you're still beasting it. You know, Igniter can't really be a beast if he's dead, but otherwise he's being a beast 100% of the time, without a shadow of doubt, no hint of sarcasm and everything. So now we've grabbed the key, let's walk all the way back round again. That's just kind of like how level design in this game goes, without the, you know, ability of possessing a jump button. I accidentally, you know, slipped with my thumb and let go of the movement button for a split second right there. That would explain why I wasn't moving now, wouldn't it? Look at being said, the area is about to swap out for life, so we are going to hastily swap out for legendary stealth without further ado. But yeah, am I glad with having the ability right now to breeze through this level, or should I say breeze? There is no L in breeze, but regardless, we're absolutely breezing through this level all the same, and it's all thanks to the fact that I no longer have to deal with stupid Skystone tutorials. I've, you know, literally watched more of those tutorials more than I have times I've beaten this game, because sometimes I start new profiles and make it to level 4 and then I don't beat the game on that profile, therefore meaning that I don't complete the game and for, you know, another 100th time, but I do at least watch the Skystone's tutorial for another 100th time, is what I'm going as far to say right here. Oh, and now we're bringing out combos to absolutely annihilate these fools. I feel sorry, they should be embarrassed and ashamed of their lack of abilities to deal with stealth rope right here, because man, these guys are not very good at their job, which is defeating me now, are they? Just look at this guy, he's never going to have a chance to charge, man. This is the ultimate moment where I'm almost sorry for them, but almost didn't quite count now, does it? So yeah, there is some gold that's been left behind, not that I give two shits. Swears! Yeah, this is definitely charisma, if I ever have seen it. You know, if this ain't charisma, then I don't know what the fuck is. I even have the swears and everything, so with it all being said and done, it's time for us to take down this fool right here. You know, stand no chance against me, especially since he don't even have a fire Skystone in his deck. So he's gonna wind up, you know, losing his stone and forming a block. With that being said, it's time for us to bring out our beast right here, just for a bit of overkill. So Chompy Bot 9006. 9006 is a year that is several thousands of years out just yet. You know, I don't think I'm quite going to be around to see the year, you know, 9006, unfortunately. Well, if I was born in 2001, I doubt I'm going to see it unless I live up to the age of 7005. And yes, that was math I just did off the top of my head. Just goes to show that I can do math, just not when I'm talking about the number of episodes in this series and the premiere of the exact same series that we're talking about here, apparently. You know, premieres are basically of the exception. What I don't make an exception for, however, is how much I absolutely annihilate these fools at Skystone. So now we're just going to wait for these cutscenes to be done with even, so I can press the best button in the video game and skip them already. There you go, we're getting out of here. We've repaired the ship. We've not even got the speedrun, not that I even gave two shit about speedrun to begin with, and then we have more cutscenes to press best button in the video game to skip over, as I proceed to hiccup apparently. Now we have lots of loading screens, but on that note, loading screens aren't going to end there, because we also have the 5th level to load in to conclude the 2nd episode with. After all, these episodes are going to have 2 levels in dedication to every singular episode, mind you. And that's not going to stop until the Archean trilogy, which is going to make for an intense finale, if we even get to that point. I mean, this is nightmare mode we're talking about here. If anyone can fail to that capacity, it's yours truly. Speaking of failing, I'm apparently feeling to swap over for Slam Bam right here. By the way, here we are, all armed and dangerous, a hat from the next episode in the series. So that, my friends, is what we call a healthy dosage of foreshadowing. But don't get too used to these water characters here. And, you know, water is a very rare element in this game for some reason. It's like the developers just in half of these levels forgot that water was an element that existed.
Now just rotate the crystal.
Okay, with that being said, let's be spinning around the laser crystal finger bob and melting the ice beam lighting for the And now Noodles is here. Some make me hungry. Anyway, what doesn't make me so hungry is Jetpack. He doesn't make me hungry to play the game because he's just not that good. So playing the game, I'm just kind of like enjoying it, just not as much as I would be if I was playing Skylanders that I do hunger to play. Skylanders like Igniter. Like seriously, where is the fire elemental buff in this level when you need it? Yeah, it's not my smoothest transition, I must admit. But we gotta watch out for these guys. He spins right straight at us. But you know what? This is fine. Taking that hit was all part of the plan. And even if it wasn't, I won't say so otherwise. Because that's just how lying goes, you know. You use it for your own benefit. So if I was telling the truth, then lying would no longer be a benefit for me now, would it? Anyway, we've got to push this block into place. And then twist around the twisty thingy again. Which I think is scripted enough as is. We're just going to stick with that. We are.
Nice.
And this is a fast-paced episode. And this episode is many things. I suppose fast-paced is one of them. Either way, we have a story scroll over there, which we are yet again going to ignore. I like that plan. I like it a lot. So let's spin this round. Spin this right round, baby, right round. Yes, we just went there. In the words of the mighty Tough Wook, deal with it.
Nice.
By the way, we now have some fools to take down where the element of the area is water once more. So let's go back to Legendary Chill. You know, hopefully her Narwhal can work out this time. This is it. This is for revenge of the Narwhal, I tell you. So, you know, if Narwhal's finally going to come in and do its job and not going to be stopped by no boulders coming in to screw us over. Narwhal! Told you so. You see, this just goes to show you that rocks are more powerful than Cyclopses. This is confirmed, you know, the rock stops the Narwhal, but these Cyclopses ain't. Never mind, the Cyclopses are doing it too, and it's rather annoying me. That stupid spinning that I hate it so much. Okay, we're gonna knock this guy back now. Not get hit by his invincible spin, mind you, as I grab this pretzel right here. Nice, delicious pretzel. Like the frozen toe, rather odd name for an area, wouldn't you think? Anyway, let's destroy the snowman because it looked to me funny. And with that being said, Noodles is once again going to be skipped over because we couldn't care less about his deep stew, which is, you know, technically what you can put noodles into. So this commentary is entirely appropriate if you were to ask me. Okay, let's take down some fools. Not the fool I was aiming for, but it was a fool all the same, so we will take it. Oh, you want to go, do you? You want to go, eh, buddy? Okay, let's bring out a Narwhal. Take an axe to the face, but it's not going to matter because that guy's going to take an Narwhal to the face, and an Narwhal to the face is a whole lot more painful than all else, if you were to ask me. Ooh, but that bomb right there wasn't pleasant. Luckily for me, this water area is going to be rather short-lived, so we aren't going to have to worry about Chill being killed off because magic is going to pop up sooner rather than later. It's a shame though because this character is really underrated and I really wish we could get her some more screen time for that exact reason. Oh wait, there goes another key of ours. Apparently using your javelins makes the mentor of this character a whole lot more easier to master. Speaking of mastering, we now have Legendary Spoiro, a character that I've mastered based on the fact that I've literally been playing around with this moveset for years at this point. Okay, here we go. This guy's got his fireball path so we can even charge up his fireballs and everything. Boom! And then use it against them, you know, unsuspecting fools right there. They're fools because they didn't expect it, and they should know to expect the unexpected. You know, it's like Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie where, you know, something unexpected happened to him, but he was expecting not to, he was expecting the unexpected, so therefore it doesn't count. At least along those lines, you know, you'll have the actual movie quote inserted into the edit regardless.
I was not expecting that. But I was expecting not to expect something, so it doesn't count.
And now with that, we return here with plenty of food. Not that we're going to need it, but we're going to eat it anyway so the Denver Chonkies don't get, you know, the pleasure of having eaten it, mind you. As I proceed to want to pick up, but my body, you know, doesn't want to follow through with that there command apparently. Because hey, everything you do, every action, every movement is technically a command of your mind. Your mind controls whether you want to walk forward, left, right, up or down. Not that you can walk up or down unless there's like a slope or some stairs. But naturally on a smooth surface that's not really going to happen now, is it? Okay, we got to take on this fool. He's going down. Simple as a boom, baby. And I did tell you so. And now we can head on back up here. Do we have all 3 of the keys? That we do. Sweet. So let's bring about our flight and open up the door without further ado. Oh my gosh, it's unnecessary deep stew for us to be skipping over once more. Man, I love harkening back to the trap team core inversion lock, mostly because that was our first ever lock we did in this episodic format on the channel, and this will be our last. You know, it just goes to show the evolution in the lock series and everything. I mean, granted, I still will be doing locks after this lock is finished up, but they will just all be live from now on rather than being in this episodic format. Either way, we've got to spin this right round, baby, right round. So then we can melt down that ice block up there and then spin it around once more to get back here. I know that's a lot of spinning, but sometimes that's just how the game rolls. So yeah, let's be flying again, get some more speed and armor as well apparently, because flying gives you increased speed for some reason. Not increased speed, increased armor. Also, you know, you get them both, the best of both worlds quite literally, but why would you need increased speed and armor from an attack? That would be a useful upgrade, but not at the complete waste of a tertiary attack that could have been used to give Spyro virtually any other ability. That would have been useful. Anyway, we're back to Captain Flynn's ship, where we can finally conclude this episode. All of my, you know, blabbering aside, I will be seeing you, of course, on Monday for the next episode of the Skylanders Giants Legendary Lock.